Have you ever felt misunderstood or disconnected from the people around you? It's a feeling many of us are all too familiar with. Relationships, whether they're with family, friends, or colleagues, are the cornerstone of our social lives. They bring us joy, provide us with support, and shape our experiences. But maintaining these relationships isn't always a smooth sail. We all have our ups and downs, right? I remember a time when I felt terribly disconnected from my best friend. It was a difficult phase, but it taught me the importance of nurturing relationships. It's not just about being there in good times, but also sticking together during the tough ones. It's about understanding, compromising, and growing together. Sounds challenging, doesn't it? But don't worry, we're here to help. In this video, we will explore 15 ways to improve your relationships. So, let's dive in and uncover the secrets to building stronger, healthier bonds with the people around you. Remember that time when you misunderstood a friend because of a text message? It's an all too common occurrence in this digital age. Misunderstandings can brew from the simplest of texts, emails, or even voice messages. Why? Because communication isn't just about the words we say, it's about the tone, the context, and the timing. Now let's delve into a personal story. Picture this: a close friend sends you a message. It reads, "We need to talk." Suddenly, your mind is racing. You begin to imagine the worst. But when you finally have the conversation, it turns out to be nothing grave. They just wanted to plan a surprise party for another friend. See how easy it is to misconstrue a simple statement? That's why clear communication is so crucial. It prevents unnecessary stress and strengthens our relationships. Always strive to communicate clearly and honestly. Ever felt like no one understands your feelings? It's a common sentiment, isn't it? That's why empathy is such a crucial element in our relationships. It's the ability to put ourselves in someone else's shoes, to feel their joy and their pain, and to understand their point of view. Let me share a personal anecdote. A friend of mine was going through a tough time, feeling overlooked at work. Instead of offering advice, I simply listened and tried to understand her feelings. I imagined myself in her position and how it would feel. And you know what? It brought us closer. My friend felt heard, understood, and less alone in her struggle. Empathy doesn't mean you have to solve someone's problems. It's about understanding and validating their feelings. It's about saying, "I see you, I hear you, your feelings matter." This simple act of empathy can bridge gaps and strengthen bonds in ways you can't imagine. Try to understand others from their perspective. Can you recall a time when someone broke your trust? It's a bitter pill to swallow, isn't it? That sinking feeling in your stomach, the disbelief, the disappointment. Trust is like a fragile glass ornament. It's beautiful, it's precious, and it's painstakingly built over time. But once it's shattered, it's near impossible to put back together. You can try, but the cracks will always be there, a constant reminder of the trust that was broken. Let me share a personal story with you. I once had a friend, a close friend, who I trusted implicitly. But one day, that trust was broken. It hurt, it was disappointing, and it changed the dynamics of our friendship forever. But it also taught me a valuable lesson about the importance of trust. Trust isn't just about keeping secrets or being reliable. It's about honesty. It's about consistency. It's about showing up for someone when they need you the most. Trust is the foundation of any relationship. Have you ever felt alone in a crowd? It's a feeling we've all experienced, a sense of disconnection despite being surrounded by people. This often stems from a lack of quality time spent together. Quality time isn't about quantity. It's about presence. It's about being there, fully engaged, without distractions. Let me share a story. Once there was a woman who was always busy with work. She was surrounded by colleagues, friends, even family, but she never really connected with anyone. One day, she decided to take her young niece to the park. They spent the whole afternoon playing, laughing, and just being in the moment. That day, she realized what she had been missing. She felt a warmth, a connection she hadn't felt in a long time. Quality time is like a magic thread. It weaves itself into the fabric of our relationships, pulling us closer together. It's a reminder that we are not alone, that we are seen, heard, and cherished. Quality time strengthens bonds. Remember when you held a grudge against someone? Just think about the weight it placed on your heart, the bitterness and resentment that clouded your thoughts. Now imagine releasing that burden. That's forgiveness. It's not about forgetting or condoning the wrongs committed against you. It's about freeing yourself from the shackles of the past. Take a moment to reflect on a personal story. A close friend once betrayed my trust. It was painful and I felt justified in my anger. But over time, I realized that holding on to that grudge was only hurting me. It was a ball of negativity I was carrying around. When I finally forgave my friend, it was like a weight lifted off. The pain didn't disappear, but I was no longer defined by it. Forgiveness is a powerful tool in improving relationships. It's the key to healing wounds and rebuilding bridges. Remember, forgiveness isn't for the other person, it's for you. Forgiveness allows relationships to grow. Ever felt disrespected by someone close to you? Respect is a fundamental aspect of any meaningful relationship. It's not just about acknowledging someone's worth or value, it's about recognizing their individuality, their thoughts, their feelings, their choices. Let's take an example. Imagine a friend named Alex. Alex has a unique passion for collecting vintage stamps. Now, you might not share the same interest, but you respect Alex's passion. You listen to his stories, you admire his collection. That's respect. You're upholding his dignity, acknowledging his interests, and valuing his choices. Disrespect, on the other hand, can be as subtle as dismissing someone's feelings or as blatant as outright insult. It erodes trust, creates tension, and can even result in emotional distress. Respect is about creating an environment where everyone feels valued, heard, and accepted. It's about fostering growth, encouraging authenticity, and building stronger, healthier relationships. Remember, respect is a pillar of any relationship. Recall a time when you lost your patience with someone? Quite possibly you can. It's a human thing after all. But let's delve into the role patience plays in our relationships. Imagine a pot of water on the stove. It's bubbling away, teetering on the edge of boiling over. That's us, losing our patience. But what if we turn down the heat? The bubbles simmer down, the risk of boiling over is gone. That's patience. It's the act of turning down the heat. It's the suspension of immediate gratification, and it's the power to keep your cool. Think about a time when I almost lost my patience with a close friend. She was running late and I was waiting in the cold. But instead of getting angry, I took a deep breath, texted her to be safe, and ordered a hot cup of coffee. That single act of patience prevented a potential conflict. Patience can prevent many misunderstandings. So, let's turn down the heat. Ever caught someone lying to you? It's a bitter pill to swallow, isn't it? But let's flip the coin. Imagine being the one caught in a web of lies. The guilt, the fear, the aftermath. It's not a pretty picture. Honesty, as they say, truly is the best policy. It's the cornerstone of any relationship, be it platonic or romantic. It forms the basis of trust and understanding. Without honesty, our relationships are built on shaky grounds. I remember a friend, let's call her Jane. Jane had a habit of telling little white lies to avoid conflict. She thought she was protecting her relationships, but over time, these little lies started to add up. The day they came to light, trust was broken. It took a lot of time, patience, and above all, honesty from Jane's side to mend those relationships. So remember, when it comes to relationships, honesty isn't just a virtue, it's a necessity. Honesty is the best policy. Remember a time when someone's kindness touched your heart? Kindness, the seemingly simple act of being friendly, generous, and considerate, can have a profound impact on our relationships. It's the warm smile, the unexpected compliment, the small favor that can turn a bad day into a good one. Let's take a moment to revisit a story from my own life. Once, during a particularly tough time, a friend of mine showed up at my doorstep with a basket of my favorite treats. It was a small gesture, but it meant the world to me. It reminded me that I was cared for, and it brought me immense joy in a moment of distress. This is the power of kindness. It's the glue that holds our relationships together, making them stronger and more resilient. It's a reminder that we're not alone, that we're valued and loved. Kindness can create lasting bonds. Ever felt misunderstood by someone close to you? It's a universal experience, one that can cause ripples of discord in our relationships. Understanding, or rather the lack of it, is often the silent culprit behind many conflicts. But what does understanding truly mean? Understanding is not merely about agreeing with someone's point of view. It's about seeing the world from their perspective, even if it differs from your own. It's about acknowledging their feelings, their beliefs, their experiences as valid and real. Let's take a brief journey into a personal story. Picture a close friend, always punctual, always perfect. One day they're late, they're flustered. You could get angry, or you could try to understand. Maybe they had a rough morning, perhaps they're dealing with something you're not aware of. By choosing understanding, you prevent the spark of conflict from igniting. Understanding is a gift we give to each other. It's a bridge that connects hearts and minds. Remember, understanding can bring peace in relationships. Recall a time when you needed support and someone was there for you? The importance of support in relationships cannot be overstated. It's like a safety net. always there to catch you when you fall. Imagine you're on the tightrope of life, walking on a thin line, balancing your work, personal life, and a myriad of other responsibilities. The winds of change and uncertainty blow, and you lose your balance. That's when you need that safety net, that support system. Let me share a story with you. It's about a lady named Sarah. Sarah was going through a challenging time, dealing with the loss of a loved one. It was an uphill battle, and she felt isolated and alone. But then her friend Emma stepped in. Emma provided her with emotional support, listened to her, comforted her, and gave her the strength to face her grief. Emma's support was invaluable to Sarah, helping her through the darkest period of her life. That's the power of support. It's the pillar that holds us up when we feel like we're crumbling. Support can strengthen relationships. Ever felt unappreciated for your efforts? It's a hard pill to swallow, isn't it? But let's turn the tables for a moment. Have you ever stopped to truly appreciate those around you? Appreciation is like a warm, comforting blanket. It wraps around us, making us feel seen, valued, and loved. It's a powerful tool, capable of boosting morale and strengthening bonds. Let me share a little story from my own life. I remember a time when my friend was going through a tough phase. I could see how hard she was fighting, yet no one seemed to notice. So I decided to express my appreciation for her strength. I told her how much I admired her resilience. The change was immediate. Her face lit up, her posture straightened, and I could see the spark reignite in her eyes. Remember, a simple act of appreciation can transform a person's day. It's like giving a gift of joy and validation. So let's take a moment to appreciate those around us. Because appreciation can bring happiness in relationships. Remember a time when you felt unloved? It's a feeling that can cast a shadow over the brightest of days. Love, in its simplest form, is the gentle touch of understanding, the soft whisper of acceptance, and the comforting warmth of belonging. It's the thread that binds us together, the glue that holds relationships intact. Let's delve into a personal story. Imagine a friendship, strained by misunderstandings and disagreements. The air, thick with resentment, felt almost suffocating. Yet one day, one person extended a hand of love, offering a sincere apology and expressing a desire to reconnect. That act of love was a healing balm, melting away the frost of resentment, stitching the torn fabric of their friendship. This tale is a testament to the transformative power of love. Love has the capacity to mend broken bonds, to heal wounded hearts, and to bridge chasms of difference. It's a universal language that speaks to the heart. Love is the essence of any relationship. So, are you ready to improve your relationships? We've journeyed through 15 essential aspects that can help enhance your relationships. Remember, these are not standalone principles, but interconnected pieces of a larger puzzle. Communication, empathy, trust, quality time, forgiveness, respect, patience, honesty, kindness, understanding, support, appreciation, and above all, love are vital for nourishing relationships. Each point represents a building block in the strong foundation of a healthy relationship. And while it might seem like a daunting task to incorporate all 15 in your daily interactions, it's important to remember that perfection isn't the goal here. Rather, it's about making a continuous effort, about mutual understanding, about caring for each other even when it's tough. It's about creating a safe space where everyone feels heard, respected, and loved. So don't wait for tomorrow or the next day. Start today, start now. Remember, relationships are not about perfection, but about understanding and caring for each other. So start today and make your relationships better.